Cryptography. What is cryptography? Cryptography is the art of protecting information by encrypting it or converting it to a secret code so that only those who know the key to the encryption will be able to decrypt that code or convert it back to its original form. Examples of information we would like to protect through cryptography includes credit card information, medical records, bank information, and passwords, just to name a few. One of the oldest forms of cryptography is known as the Caesar cipher, named after Julius Caesar. Legend has it that during wartime, whenever Julius Caesar wanted to send a message secretly to one of his allies, he would encrypt the message by shifting each letter in the message 3 times. That means each letter A in the message would get changed to D, each B would get changed to an E, each C would get changed to an F, so on and so forth. So, for example, if he wanted to send a message to one of his allies saying the enemies are at the gates, it would get converted to this message. T would get changed to W, H would get changed to K, so on and so forth. In this example, the key value was 3 because 3 was the amount each letter got shifted and the amount that we have to shift the letter back to decrypt the code. In general, however, the key can be any number between 1 and 25 since there are 26 letters in the alphabet. Now, legend also has it that the reason Caesar's cipher was successful at the time was because all of Caesar's enemies were either illiterate or spoke a foreign language. Thus, for that reason, Caesar didn't need a very complex algorithm to throw his enemies off. However, in today's world of technology, this cipher wouldn't be useful at all because there are only 25 possible keys. It wouldn't take a human that long to test each possible key to find out the correct one, and it would only take a computer a fraction of a second to determine the correct key. Hence why today, the standard encryption key, when written in binary, is 256 bits long, meaning the number of possible keys is 2 raised to the 256th power, which, as you can see, is a very large number. It would take today's computers trillions of years to test each possible number. In general, there are 2 types of encryption. Symmetric encryption, where the same key that's used to encrypt a message is also used to decrypt the message, and asymmetric encryption, where the key that's used to encrypt a message is different from the key that's used to decrypt the message. To further illustrate how these 2 approaches work, we'll use a classroom analogy. Suppose whenever Sally and Erica send messages to one another, they use a special key that only the 2 of them have to lock the message and prevent any of their classmates from seeing their communication. Likewise, when Sally communicates with Jenny, they use a different special key that only the 2 of them share, thus protecting their conversations from being read by anyone else in the class. And when Sally and Billy communicate with each other, they use another special key that only those 2 share, thus protecting their conversations from the other classmates. And then, of course, when Erica and Jenny communicate, they have a special key of their own that only they share, protecting their conversations. When Jenny and Billy communicate, they have a special key that they share, protecting their conversations. And when Billy and Aditi communicate, they have a special key that only they share, protecting their conversations from everybody else. By now, you probably see that symmetric encryption is not a very efficient way to protect messages because it requires everyone to have a key for every other student in the class. Meaning, if there are 30 kids in the class, each student is going to have 29 different keys so that they can communicate with everybody in the classroom. And this problem only gets even worse when you talk about computers. There are billions of computers across the globe. It's not practical to expect every computer to have billions of different keys so that it will be able to communicate with every other computer across the globe. Which brings us to asymmetric encryption. The way asymmetric encryption works is that each student will have 2 keys and 2 keys only. They'll have one public encryption key that everybody will be allowed to know, hence why it's public, and one private decryption key that only they will know, hence why it's private. And here's how it would work. Suppose somebody wanted to send a message to Aditi. They would use Aditi's public encryption key to lock the message. And once that message gets locked, only Aditi will be able to unlock it because only Aditi has the private decryption key. So, When Aditi receives that message, she'll use her private decryption key to unlock the message. So, in summary, applying this back to computers, the reason asymmetric encryption is more commonly used than symmetric encryption is because, like was said, it'll only require each computer to maintain two keys rather than having a key for every single other computer across the globe.